Do we really know what's going on? There's always more to know, eh? Just when we think we know it all, some more stuff pops up. We leave religion, we go down philosophy roads, we get into yoga, mysticism, hermeticism, all sorts of things. And if we're wise, we'll incorporate little bits and pieces from every philosophy, maybe even every religion, and coalesce it into our general um, braincraft that's in our meat suit and take it on board to the future. But do we really think we're going to know who we really are? Do we really know? There's just so much to know. You can never stop knowing. You just can't stop knowing. There's been so many great philosophers and sages and wise men and women in history and to this present day. And lots of them have been eradicated and silenced, and in some cases executed, because the powers to be didn't want their message getting out there to the people, so they could free themselves and start to find out who they really are, and that's disgusting and sad. We can watch all the lectures, read all the books, watch all the videos you want. Will you still really know who you are and where we're going? Is it actually possible? Like, I think I know who I am now. I just done a video on it. But do I really, really know? You know what I mean? Can we ever know? Can we really finally ever know who we are or where we're going or what's going on? Is it even possible? I'm starting to think it's not. I tell you what, if we can live the hero's journey, we're going to get a lot closer to finding out who we are and where we're going. That's for sure. But how many of us want to do that? How many of us want to do the hero's journey? How many of us want to do the shadow work that's required to, um, come to terms with what we need to do and what we're doing wrong and who we really are and how we can really help? We can live morally. I try and live morally. I try and live under natural law. But every time I turn my computer on, there's always another philosopher to watch or listen to. There's always another ideology or another another idea. There's just so much to learn, and I suppose I'll just have to keep going. Finding out who I am through how I cope with experiences in my own life moving forward, and from research and study and listening and reading. I suppose that's the only things we can do. Some people get into astro traveling, some people can leave their body and come back and tell us how to get out of the recycled reincarnation trap. People like Isabella Green, we got people like that in the world that say that we can do that. And they're adamant their way's the way, just like Christianity thinks their way's the right way. And if you're not on their highway, you're going down a dead end street. There's people like that, but do they really finally know? And do people really want to know? That's the other thing. Do people really want to know who they really are? I'm not talking about where they come from, like doing genealogy, historic family tree studies. I'm talking about, who they really are, where they came from, how they were made. Human origin. And we've got to realise, guys, and people just don't believe this when I say it, but everything they've told us has been a lie. They've suppressed so much. It's just amazing. When you make the effort to want to know, you start to fucking know, all right? You start to find out stuff that really blows your mind open. And you try and find someone to tell it to, and people just don't get it because they're living in their little 9 to 5 worlds, in their little safety bubble of comfort and routine, and they don't care. Done videos in the past on this. People just don't care. They don't want to know, let alone care. So people like that will never know who they are, and people like that will never want to keep knowing stuff. But that's their problem. Let's not be people. Let's not be a person like that. Let's keep knowing as much as we can. Let's not accept the narrative all the time, and let's finally get to know, if we can, that what we think we know is that we don't know nothing.